Hey, welcome to Flite Test. I'm Josh, and this is Josh.
Hi.
And today we're talking about gyros, lamb sandwich.
The lamb sandwich of the air.
Actually, I think it's called gyros.
Gyros.
It's Greek.
Gyros.
So your G's a H, and you gotta roll the R.
Wow.
Gyros.
Gyros.
And that's this right here.
No, that's a gyro.
Yeah, gyro.
Gyro. No. Actually, do you want to take a guess what that does?
It controls
Looks like
gyrations.
a funky knob on the front of an airplane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a lot more than that.
Okay.
There's a lot of uses for gyros. Most of the time you find them on helicopters, but they are getting more and more popular with airplanes. And for me, I'm not an advanced 3D pilot, but I do love trying to learn to hover. Mm-hmm. And for someone like you getting into that point,
yeah,
a gyro can make all the difference in the world.
Because it's like a stabilizer pretty much?
Yeah. Basically what a gyro does is it acts on any outside forces put on an airplane. It'll counteract automatically, so you don't have to.
I see.
So it's a shortcut and kind of a way to cheat, but at the same time it gives you a better flying experience.
Okay.
And that's what we're all after.
So like my son, he's potty training.
All right.
And his aim is good, but he's 3.
He talks.
So sometimes, yeah, he's excited about it, you know? He's pumped. He should be.
All kids are.
So sometimes he kind of misses, he's kind of hitting the side of the toilet.
Yeah.
So that's like the gyro. The gyro is like, whoa, 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 he's hitting over here. We got to compensate for that. So me, Daddy Servo, I grab him by the shoulders, turn him a little bit so he's hitting where he's supposed to be now.
Big Daddy Servo.
Yes.
I see a shirt coming soon.
Okay.
All right. Long story short, the servo or the gyros play a lot of roles in airplanes. You can put them on many different things to stabilize your plane. We use it in Flite Test for with FPV to help knock when the wind hits us, to try to keep our video nice and smooth.
Okay.
But this is probably the most popular.
Okay.
And when you're learning to fly 3D, it's really useful. But also, say you build a scale warbird or something.
Right. Build a scale warbird.
A lot of times, scale warbirds are a little squirrely on takeoff.
Yeah.
What a lot of people are doing is they're putting a gyro on the rudder so it'll track nice and straight, so they don't have to worry as much about veering off one way or the other.
So it locks in.
Yeah,
locks
it locks it in.
Okay,
you
so
got
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, why don't you show them? I think you have show how it's set up there.
Demonstration here. All right, so normally you just have your servo plugged in here to your receiver.
Correct.
But we're gonna add in the gyro, and it's gonna go into your rudder, which is how we have it set up right now.
Yes.
And then it's also gonna go into this auxiliary, because that determines whether you have it on or off.
And just the signal wires, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, just the signal wire plugs in there, and that enables you to adjust intensity or on and off.
Gotcha.
You can adjust it with your transmitter. If you have a variable knob on your transmitter, you can physically go into headlock mode, or you can go to normal mode. And what headlock does is it actually will lock into your trajectory. Yeah. Something also call head hold mode too, but it'll lock your trajectory of the airplane. Say you're flying in an attitude and you want to lock in the motion.
It's a bad attitude.
It's a bad attitude.
Or it's a good attitude.
It's a good attitude.
Hold it.
You like that attitude, you want to hold it. It'll hold that the whole way through.
Okay.
Where normal mode will just stabilize and fight outside forces upon it.
All right. Got it.
You always want to make sure the plane pivots on the center axis. Most of the time, it's your center of gravity. Okay. Since we're doing it on the rudder, we're going to have the gyro or
gyro
facing up, and right here is the center of gravity on this plane. And what we did is we put it right on the top here. Actually, cut a little bit of foam. And it's going to pivot on this, okay? So that way the gyro is getting the maximum amount of throw. If we put it back here, it wouldn't be nearly as sensitive forward or aft. So right on the pivot point, you're going to get the maximum amount of sensitivity from the gyro, and it's going to work the very best.
Okay.
All right? So that's the important thing. Obviously, if we're doing elevator, it'd be on the side. Aileron, it would also be on the side too.
Okay.
All right?
Cool.
Don't be afraid of gyros. Hobby King makes...
I'm scared of them, Josh.
A lot of people don't put them on, but they really make your flying experience better. And one nice thing is your transmitter always can override them.
Okay.
All right? So say you're flying and you're learning 3D, but you want to stabilize, you still have your rudder input. It's not going to do its own thing. But if you're starting to learn how to transition into a hover and you have that wing waggle and then the rudder's all going...
Oh, wing waggle's the worst.
I hate wing waggle.
Oh.
You can put gyros on it to stabilize that out, and you still have control inputs, but it's a good way to get you into those attitudes where you can fly out.
Good attitude.
And when you are a pro, you don't want to use gyros.
That's a good attitude.
Yeah. You can do better without gyros once you learn how to do it, but it will help transition into 3D flying and also getting planes that have landing gears, especially tail draggers, off the ground.
Cool.
So it works
it's like training wheels.
It's like training wheels. You can really use them as a aid to learn.
Cool. All right. Well, let's take it outside and
you want to do that?
See what it's about.
Very cool.
All right. I got the rear bear. Take care of the rear bear, not like last time.
All right.
All right, ready?
Got a nice day for this, yes.
Yeah.
Now there's a couple things you guys need to know before firing up your plane when you have a gyro on there. The gyros need to initialize. Okay. All right, and depending on where the gyro is at, sometimes that means the plane needs to be level, but most of the time it just means it needs to be very, very still.
Okay.
Like on a Tricopter, the plane needs to be level, all right, when it starts out. All right. But let's go ahead and plug this in. What are you doing first?
You know, back in the olden days, the gyros were actually mechanical wheels.
Yes.
Bit of history for you there.
Now, if you look here, come down on here, this is flashing. Once it's hold still and locks in, there we go. Now the gyro is activated. All right. So right now you see I got normal control, but when I turn the gyro on and outside forces oppose it, the rudder moves on its own. See that? And the way you can tell if your gyros are hooked up properly is when you move it, the gyro should physically try to steer it back the other way. So if the nose goes this way, the rudder should try to steer it back there. If it goes with it, so it makes it more advanced, watch out. It's going to be a fun ride. And the head hold mode is actually where it'll hold the trajectory there. See that, how it actually locks in. We want the other way. So it acts on outside forces to stabilize. Ready to launch me? Yeah.
Ready?
Ready. All right, now the gyros are on, and you can see you can do everything normal that you normally do with a normal airplane. And it flies really, really nice. Now this is a really great flying, fun fly plane, but it's not made for 3D. But you know, you can good practice on 3D with this. So if you look at my thumb here, once I get into a hover, and I take my thumb off, the rudder's actually working on its own, and it's keeping me in that attitude. Without the gyro, it would just tip over. Now I'm taking care of the axis still, but if you can see, it's tracked straight as an arrow, but I still have control. It also will help you with headlock mode. You can fly knife edges and things like that, but you can also fly knife edges with it just as it is.
Put it in headlock mode, give it some good noogies too.
There you go, there you go. Now I have my gains turned up a little bit high right now, but if you see the rudder, it's actually physically compensating for me, which is pretty darn cool. I'm not doing a very good job still 3D'ing though. I think I need to practice more. What do you think?
That's okay. Let's get some gyros on the edge.
That'd be cool. Yeah, if you can see that fluttering of that, it's actually physically overpowering it, but it's not doing too bad.
Do another knife edge.
You want me to do another knife edge?
I like those. I like knives. So the edges of them are especially cool.
There you go.
Righteous.
That wind's really carrying it. Look at that. Now, a good 3D pilot wouldn't be going off track, but hey, I'm not a good 3D pilot yet. But
Never
it works.
claimed to be.
No, it works good though.
So we've seen it with the gyro. Like, can we contrast it and maybe do it without?
Now I'm really gonna be humbled. Yeah, I'd be happy to turn it off.
Let's see the difference.
All right, gyro's off, and we're popping to hover.
Oh, jeez.
Now see if we can catch it, but it's just not nearly as smooth.
It looks like Josh Scott 3D flying right there.
Yeah, obviously you can still do all the maneuvers, and expert 3D pilots are not going to use gyros. They'll probably frown on it, but for someone getting into it, it's a good way to do it.
A frown on it?
Yeah.
Cheer up, experts. Well, fun.
Gyros help you cheat a little bit, and really you need to learn how to do it right. All right. Well, we probably burned most of our battery. You want to go ahead and land it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go ahead and land it, I guess.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, it works pretty good.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, there's a lot of different uses for gyros. It doesn't just stop with rudders on model planes. You can put them on any axis that you need help with. For that matter, put them on all of them if you want to. Just make sure you initialize and pay attention to your switches, what's turned on. A lot of guys out there in the AV world are also using them to stabilize their camera. So when they change attitude, the camera will actually compensate and keep it at the same focal point, which is pretty darn cool too.
Cool.
And with the price being around 12 bucks for a Hobby King GY 401,
beat it.
It's awesome.
Can't beat it.
It's an amazing value. It's honestly comparable to a $99 gyro that you get anywhere else.
Wow.
So don't hesitate to pick up a 401 gyro from Hobby King. They're phenomenal.
Cool.
Really, really good.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Thanks Hobby King for sponsoring this episode and making a really cool Gyro. And you want to put a new battery in it? Lots more?
Actually, I was hoping to eat a gyro. I'm kind of hungry.
Oh, okay.
You can go on the internet and easily find it. It's about 10 bucks. The wide angle, and get the widest angle you could possibly find. I'm guessing what GoPros are 170 degrees. This I'm guessing is what 120 maybe.
Maybe, yeah, something like that.
Something like that. The wider you get, the more it's going to be like looking through the human eye, and the better the experience is going to be.